What's up, guys? Mitchell Watts with Town & Country TV, and today I'm excited to show you my personal F-150 Raptor. So a lot has changed since you saw the reveal video where I explained to you what I traded my 2017 F-150 XLT in for, and this, if you haven't seen that video, is going to be the truck. There's no real reason to go back and watch that other video because this is going to be the updated video where I talk about all the different modifications that I've done to the truck itself, and so that is going to be in this particular video. So let's talk about a couple of things that were already on the truck when I bought it, and that's going to be the front and the rear bumper from ADD, Addictive Desert Designs front and rear bumper. This truck was actually, when I first bought it, actually originated at our dealership, and it was an SEA Performance Raptor, meaning that what they did is they did the front and the rear bumpers. It's got some lights, some rigid LED lights that we'll show you here in just a second, but we also had some wheels and some tires. But at the time this truck came out, there was no suspension modifications available for it at that time. So what I've done recently, literally just got it back today, is we upgraded the suspension system itself. So Josh, as you bring the camera in, I'm going to show you a couple of different things. First thing is first, 37-inch Nitto Ridge Grappler tires. That's my personal favorite tire right now. I've used to be a big BFG ATKO2 fanboy. Here recently, we've had a string of issues with balancing on some of those BFGs, because as you guys know in our channel, we don't really care. We'll tell you the truth whether it hurts or helps us. We just want to make sure that we provide you some good information. But the BFGs, I love these things because you've got a dual sidewall on the tire. So you've got a really nice, aggressive looking tire with plenty of space in between the different lugs to eject the stones, eject the rocks. And as you can see, you've got these lugs on the side of the tire. There's a dual sidewall. So you've got this sidewall, which is the more aggressive side, where you've got big lugs all the way around. On the other side of the tire, it's a less aggressive look. Obviously, I'm going for aggressive look, so this is the side that is out, and I think it looks fantastic. And you're going to notice that these wheels are a set of Fuel Rebel wheels. One of the reasons I've had these wheels on my mind for the longest time, I actually even said to myself, man, if I ever got like a magnetic Raptor or a magnetic F-150 again, these would be the wheels that I would go with. And the primary reason I love them is the way that these spokes look, but you'll also notice that it matches the paint job exactly on a magnetic F-150. And that's one of the things I absolutely love about it. I kind of, so about the faux beadlock ring, but all in all, I am very, very pleased with this Fuel Rebel wheel. And by the way, if you want a quote on one of those, I'll have a link down below. We actually do sell and ship across the United States, the 48 lower states. So if you need a price on wheels and tires on your particular vehicle, we can definitely help you. Sorry, I'm just looking off in the distance, but we got my man C1 Colton Love. He got the stunner shades on. He's the smart one because it is bright out here, but Colton was obviously instrumental in helping me get this truck put together. He doesn't do the work on these trucks, but he has actually worked on vehicles prior to. I got my man Jonathan and my man Dylan up top. Those are our master technicians that put these trucks together. Colton is the mastermind, so we've got an entire process that kind of goes through. But how do we fit 37s on this particular truck, especially because this is a 20x9-inch wheel with a +1 offset, which is one of the most aggressive offsets you can fit with 37s. Well, there was some persuasion that was involved to get these to fit, but we'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about the actual suspension itself. So as the camera moves in, you'll see, or maybe you can't see, just depending on where the camera is angled at, this is a Ready Lift 2.5-inch lift kit for the F-150 Raptor. And so there's a two-stage puck system. So you've got a actual plate up in here, which you may or may not be able to see, but that plate actually pushes the entire spring down just a little bit. You'll also notice that there is another plate somewhere in the spring, and I can't see it from where I'm standing, but there's another preload spacer spring that actually gives you 2 stages of lift. So very similar to how the BDS leveling kit on a normal F-150 works. It really does not affect your ride quality at all, or at least what I can tell. I've put about 1,000 or 2,000 miles on this truck before the suspension modifications, and I've put about 200 or 300 miles on with the suspension modification so far, and I cannot tell much of a difference. But one of the things that a lot of people might say is 37s, isn't that going to rub? It did, it used to. How did we get these things to fit? Well, as you know, Raptors don't have crash bars, so there was no need or no ability to even cut a crash bar, but you'll see right in here that we actually cut this area right here, and then we had a little piece of this area that we literally took a hammer to get it out of the way. I don't mind doing this because this is my personal truck and I don't care, but we would never do this to a retail customer unless the customer signed off and said, hey, yeah, you can take a sledgehammer to my truck, it's no problem. But what we did is we hammered it out of the way just to gain a little bit of clearance, and then what we did is we put some seam sealer over here to make sure that no water got back into the metal or the fiberglass area to kind of seal it up. And what I'm going to do later on is I'm going to actually sand this down, smooth it out, and I'm going to put like a bedliner material over this just to kind of better the way that this thing looks. But nonetheless, it has caused me to have zero clearance issues on these 37s. Now keep in mind, we're in Alabama, so we're not going to be dune racing this thing, and so I'm not really concerned about this truck will never get jumped. It'll get off-roaded, and we're going to show you guys some video footage eventually of that happening. But don't worry, I'm not going to be jumping this truck. That's not what I'm going to be doing with it. In the rear of the truck, you can see some stuff up here I'm going to talk about in just a second. Just hold on to your hoses. Since we're still talking about the suspension, let's talk about that. Obviously 37s again in the rear. We got the 20s in the rear just like that. But in the rear of the suspension truck, you've got the same factory shock absorbers that went back there, the same springs, but ReadyLift does offer a block system to level out the truck completely. And I think it sits very, very close to level. Before I actually put the weight over top of the bed, it sat absolutely perfectly flush. And once again, no alterations of the way this thing drives. It really, really drives well. Yes, if you're going to be trying to do like a long travel suspension or a mid-travel suspension, this is not what you're wanting. But then again, we're in Alabama. There are no deserts and no high-speed off-roading anywhere. And that's just not what I'm going to be doing. But I want to show you one of the things that I'm so excited about, and that is going to be the bed cover. So as you guys know, the Raptor's got the remote tailgate release. It drops down automatically. But this Retrax bed cover is something that we actually offer, and you can check that out on our website. One of the reasons that I like this particular Retrax bed cover is for a couple different reasons. The primary reason is for the bed rack that you can actually put on top of it. So the Retrax Pro XR is what this one is. As you can, the Pro means that it's got the exposed metal on top, and as you can see, it's a very, very sturdy bed cover, extremely sturdy rather. But the other reason, so the Pro means it's got the metal finish up here. The XR means that it's got these little channels, so that way you can put any kind of bed rack system that you want to on there. Obviously, I chose the Yakima Outpost, I believe is the name of it. And the reason I did that is because I knew I was going to put 37s on it. I didn't want this thing like way up in the air. And keep in mind, I'm 6'3", because I got to say that in every video. And you can see where my head lines up to the bottom of this Yakima tent. And so that's another cool thing, is we actually offer these Yakima tents, the Outpost system. All of this obviously can be purchased on tccustoms.com, depending on whether it's in stock at this point in time. But I love this bed cover because you can actually open it and shut it without actually having to, you can open and shut the tailgate automatically and you have nothing to worry about. And the nice part is when this truck is locked up, you can't get into the bed cover unless you actually have the key for the Retrax bed cover. And so you flip this thing open, put your key down in here, and now it's unlocked. Now I have the ability to prop this and literally just push it forward and automatically opens up, and you've got access to what's inside of here. And as you can see, this is the bed cover, or not the bed cover, but the bed mat that we actually transferred from my 2017 F-150 XLT. Obviously now it's in the new Raptor, but there you go. And so, yeah, this is kind of what we're looking at. I talked a little bit about the bed rack that we've got here. This is the Yakima Outpost. What we've got right here are the HD crossbars, and as I've already mentioned to you, we've got the tent. If you got, I tell you what, Josh, are you okay with me just go ahead and open up the tent and show you how fast we can get this done? What we'll do is we'll speed up the footage so that way you guys can actually see it in a quicker manner, but we'll actually put a timer on the screen right there. And so without further ado, let's see how fast or slow I can actually set up this particular tent. Ready, set, go. Makes it a little harder when the truck's higher up off the ground. Not gonna lie. All right, so now the tent's set up, and what I'm gonna do next is show you how long it takes to add this rain fly. It's already buttoned up there that I'm about to have to actually put the props up for. And there you have it, my very ungraceful self trying to put this tent up. I don't know exactly what the timing was, but as you can see, it's right there on the screen. And I'm out of breath because I'm out of shape, so roll tide. But anyways, I'm really excited about taking my boys out and camping in this thing. It should be an extremely fun time. And there you go. That is kind of our look at the Yakima tent, my new F-150 Raptor, all of the different customization that we've done to the truck so far. Links to most of this stuff is going to be linked down below. So if you have any questions, feel free to hit us up in the comments section, or if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the YouTube channel with the bell notification turned on so you don't miss a single video.